From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Vincent Danez, Jerome Dominguez, Joseph Vigario.
Today, of course, marks the 12th anniversary of the September 11th terrorist attacks that killed nearly 3,000 people.
Remembrance ceremonies took place across the country. Here at home, firefighters hosted their annual event at the Fire Station Number 1. They honored all 453 safety personnel who died doing their job. They read each name and placed a flag for each person. Organizers said the ceremony is a reminder about the risks that come with the job and the ultimate importance, serving people. The captain of the Fairbanks Fire Department says all emergency service members share that special bond.
Part of our job is not knowing what we're getting into, whether it's a structure fire or the police going into a hostile situation, and they step up and do their job every day with that certain of unknown and the risk that is involved, but they're doing it because they love the job and doing it for the citizens.
On this Patriot Day, Governor Sean Parnell urged Alaskans to thank a firefighter, law officer, medical worker, or warrior for what they do. He said we take this time to honor those who were injured and who died when the terrorist crashed jets into the Twin Towers in New York. He said we lower the flag, observe a moment of silence, and offer prayers for our people.
Come a day when we pause to thank our first responders, our emergency workers, our military, and all our defenders, those who rush into harm's way to pull others to safety, those who risk all as a part of who they are and who they have been called to be, heroes.
America's military forces are still fighting overseas in a war against terrorism. September 11th is a day that has deep significance for most of them as well.
Mark, it's 9:15. It's your mother. I just heard the news. I just hung up with you. I guess New York City has had two 737 planes fly into the twin buildings. Anyway, they're talking about being under attack or something.
I'm on a plane that's been hijacked. I'm on the plane. I'm calling from the plane. I want to tell you I love you. Please tell my children that I love them very much. And I'm so sorry they, I don't know what to say. There's three guys. They've hijacked the plane. I'm trying to be calm. We're turned around, and I've heard that there's planes that's been thrown into the World Trade Center. I hope to be able to see your face again, baby. I love you. Bye.
Those were just some of the emotional calls from this day 12 years ago. Today, the nation still mourns the loss of thousands of Americans. Soldiers at Fort Wainwright today discussed how seeing that affects them today.
I can't remember a time when I didn't have the chills or goosebumps watching it, replaying the videos, the slow motions, the people's reactions, their faces, the screaming. It sends chills down your spine even now just talking about it, thinking about it. And every time you watch it, it's like it happened yesterday.
Many Americans remember exactly where they were on that day. One Army soldier already serving said he knew one thing was certain.
And I saw this civilian waving his arms frantically down the street like that, saying the Pentagon's on fire. And I was like, you're crazy. And I was like, so I went home, turned on the news, and I saw the first plane hit. And then when I saw the second plane hit, I was like, I know we're going to war. So.
Although September 11th, 2001 will be a day our nation will never forget, those serving this country have only one thing to ask.
Just realizing that there are people out there away from their families on the holidays in foreign countries, and realizing that, you know, they're doing it for people that they don't even know, and just taking a second to appreciate that.
I think it brought the country together more than it ever has before.
Okay, well, turning our attention to the weather for the time being, and Stephanie, it was really wet out there today.
It was very, very wet. So Mike Schultz is now joining us for our first look at weather. Mike.
You guys are right. One word to describe today, sloppy. Lots of rain. I wouldn't be surprised if we had close to a half an inch of rain. But the good news is it's ending, and we're looking at better temperatures, or actually cooler temperatures, but better weather coming in over the weekend. We'll tell you about that in a little bit. Taking a look at our latest radar as we zoom in around the Fairbanks area, you can see this area of circulation. That's what brought us to the rainfall. It's slowly pushing off to the east, down to the south, nothing else coming our direction. That's some good news. Now, the lower 48, it is hot in Chicago. The third day, they've been close to 100-degree temperatures. More hot weather over the Pacific Northwest. We'll tell you all about all the weather later on in the news. Stephanie, Carol?
Okay, thank you very much, Mike. When we come back, the number of plane crashes in Alaska are being investigated.
Also, we have an exercise that helped the military work with the other countries for our military report. Those stories are next. Stay with us.
Welcome back to the Fairbanks Evening News. Former State Representative Alan Dick has been ordered to pay nearly $18,000 for violations of state ethics rules. A House Legislative Ethics Committee found Dick guilty of 5 violations, including using state resources for his personal benefit by living in his legislative office with his wife and sometimes his son for a portion of the 2012 interim. The panel also found he performed campaign activities out of his legislative office in the lead-up to last fall's general election and required a legislative staffer on government time to prepare materials for a chamber debate. It also found violations related to Dick's legislative travel. Dick served as the representative from House District 6 from 2010 through 2012.
The National Transportation Safety Board may bring more resources to the state to investigate plane crashes. Although the number of crashes was down this year from this time in 2012, the number of fatalities has increased from 10 to 32. While it's still too early to determine causes, the NTSB says it has seen a number of accidents this year related to engine stalls. Officials say it's typical in the fall to see more accidents.
Historically, the month of September, due to the fact that you have a little bit less stellar weather conditions, plus a lot of activity as far as hunting goes, a lot more hours being flown, typically we see a spike. And we're looking at probably bringing some help up from the lower 48, just because all the investigators are pretty much saturated right now with cases.
In late August, there was an exercise that started in Anchorage that gave the U.S., Canada, and Russia a chance to all work together. News Center 11's Monty Bowen has that story.
The scenario is a simulated aircraft hijacking. It's part of the exercise Vigilant Eagle 2013. This is the plane used as the hijacked aircraft that was flying from Alaska to airspace in Russia.
The exercise purpose is to facilitate the share of information between North America and Russia, so that as part of the global war on terror, there is not a hijacking event that catches the other by surprise.
The North American Aerospace Defense Command and the Russian Federation practiced techniques to deal with such a situation. As word comes down that the hijacked plane is in flight, both the U.S. Air Force and Canadian Air Force take off to take control. Once the plane is in Russian airspace, they take over.
Now we're discussing concepts and how we would react in each of our respective nations, and we can learn from each other, and we have learned from each other. So it's progressed immeasurably in my eyes.
Monty Bowen, News Center 11.
The Military Report is brought to you by Stanley Nissan. Innovation for all.
Lieutenant Governor Meade Treadwell told a group of map collectors gathered in Fairbanks this week that Mount McKinley may again be shorter than cartographers thought. Now that's according to a new digital elevation map data collected by the state and federal agencies working together on the project. Treadwell referenced data that recorded Mount McKinley at 20,237 feet rather than 83 feet shorter than originally thought. Denali is still, however, the tallest mountain peak in North America.
Last year, the Downtown Association, as part of multi-year initiatives, made a project of painting the pipes downtown, which was warmly received. This year, the Downtown Association focused on vacant properties in their area by sprucing up the windows with creative artwork. Local artists submitted designs and pictures for a contest to decorate empty window spaces in front of these properties. Last week, the association invited the public down to vote on the winners for the contest, and the winners were Amy Johnson, Mary Matthews, and Hannah Floss. Each of the artists received a monetary reward.
Our big unveiling for the window project on First Friday, so just last weekend. It was pretty fantastic. So what First Friday, what the window project's all about is it's all about putting art in downtown Fairbanks to sort of draw attention to the available commercial properties in the downtown core. So each property has art, and at the bottom it has a bar with a QR code and a phone number. So if you have any questions about the property, you can look it up that way.
All right.
Wow.
Well, Joe, it was wet one out there, so no cancellations of any games today?
Probably tennis. Tennis was scheduled, and ironically, today is usually their makeup days.
Oh,
man.
Day off.
Make this up today. But speaking of today, I caught up with the Ice Dogs at practice this morning.
Hockey's
That's
coming up?
inside. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
They're getting ready for their season opener, and it's against a rival. We'll have more on that. The Monroe volleyball team keeps their winning streak alive in a sports-related hump day video.
I'm excited about that.
Yep. All that and more coming up next. Hello, Interior Alaska. Joe Cook here in the Sports C4 this evening. Hope you're having a good hump day. More on that later, but first we go to the ice for some Ice Dogs hockey. The junior hockey team is getting ready for the 2013-2014 season opener on the road against their in-state rival, the Brown Bears of Kenai River, this Friday and Saturday. Last season, the Ice Dogs beat the Brown Bears in a 5-game series in the West Divisional Playoff. Fairbanks also won the Era Cup in a best-of-16-game season series with the tiebreaker. These two teams know each other really well. It's almost like Michigan versus Michigan State. Maybe they know each other too well, since the Ice Dogs will be facing former Ice Dogs assistant coach Jeff Beauparlant in his debut as head coach for Kenai in the Soldotna Sports Center. The Ice Dogs are an anxious squad. They're trying to get on the ice, but things will be different in the opener this weekend.
It's going to be weird. He was my coach for 3 years, but you know, congratulations to him for getting the job, but it's going to be a war on Friday and Saturday.
Well, we got a lot of speed up front on our forwards. Our D are very good. We got a very mobile D, and we just got big size, and that's hard to teach. So it's going to be a good group of guys here, so we got a good team.
That's why we have this road trip at the start of every single season. It forms and creates continuity amongst our players, so I know they're excited to get out of here for a couple weeks and get on the road.
And last night at Boileau Hall, the Monroe Rams volleyball team hosted another 4A non-conference matchup, this one with Lathrop. The Rams started strong, taking the opening set 25-13, but the second and third sets were harder. Lathrop showed their mettle, making it an 8-6 game. After a Monroe timeout, the Rams responded with a 10-2 run and take the second set 25-15. In the third, their Malamutes pushed the Rams, staying within 2 or 1 points for almost the entire set, but whenever they needed a point or a play, Andy Clark, she sparked it with her 25 assists. Marissa King had 13 kills, and Emily Pfister had a game-high 14 as Monroe wins the final set 25-20 and sweeps Lathrop. The Rams are now 5-0 to start the season.
Lathrop's really scrappy, and we knew that, so we got to be on our toes. And right now, I mean, they made us do things that made us uncomfortable, which we need to focus, make our focus better. We got to improve every game. If we don't, then we're going to get caught.
We lost a lot of seniors last year, and a lot of people thought that we weren't going to come back, but we gained new people, and the upcoming people like our freshmen, sophomores, they're really stepping up and helping us out. Our setters are really stepping it up, and so our setters are definitely the key to our game.
And yesterday on the Dan Ramras Community Tennis Course, the West Valley Wolfpack served a cold dish called Revenge. The Wolfpack defeated North Pole 5-2 in a dual meet, which avenged August 28th's loss to the Patriots that snapped an 11 dual meet winning streak. West Valley won both boys singles matches, including Jared Lee's 6-4 win over Tara LeMay. They also got wins in boys doubles, mixed doubles, and girls #2 singles. Before that dual meet, Lathrop won 5-2 over the Monroe Rams. The highlight, Lathrop's Jake Rosalius in his game come from behind, 5-7, 7-5, 10-3 win in boys, 2 singles over Wendell Stanek. The Rams got wins in boys and mixed doubles as well. Lathrop won the girls singles matches and got a forfeit win in girls doubles for the final margin. And it was a wild weekend for the NFL. Peyton Manning ties the single record for touchdown passes, and who would have guessed that the Jets would win and the Steelers would lose? Well, someone did, and we have the Week 1 winner for Webster 11's Pro Football Challenge, and that winner is Gary Baudet from North Pole. He got 14 out of 16 picks correct, and he wins an oil change from Stanley Nissan. MH Rowlett in Bristol, Tennessee somehow picked all the correct winners last week, and right now a lot of ties like me and Mike Schultz, we both got 11 picks right, but Fred Brown, he just has a 9. To get in on the fun, go to Webster11.com and register to make those picks. Everyone has seen, laughed at, or heard of the Geico commercial with the camel on hump day. Well, you know we have. And Dirk Nowitzki of the Dallas Mavericks made his own commercial to help sell season tickets for the upcoming NBA season. It's gone viral. Check it out.
Oh, guess what day it is? Guess what day it is, huh? Anybody? Kayla, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Champ. What day is it, champ? Hey, Cash, guess what the day is?
It's game day.
What?
Rob, how happy are Mavs fans to buy a season ticket package?
I'd say happier than Dirk on a game day.
Game day? Yeah!
Get happy. Get season tickets. Go to Mavs.com right now.
So I hope you had a laugh on this hump day. And that'll do it for sports tonight. Thanks for rocking with me for a little while. Mike Schultz has your full weather forecast coming up next, and we'll catch you next time.
Welcome back into the Fbx Evening News, everyone. Mike Schultz with you once again, taking a look at the weather. And it's still raining outside, and there's actually some wind out there. But we are looking at that storm system to move out slowly overnight. And by tomorrow, we'll just mainly partly cloudy to cloudy skies, so not too bad. What a gorgeous photograph. This one's sent in by Debbie Dean. She got a picture of broadcast. Look at the colors, just beautiful. Everybody remarking how gorgeous the colors are on this thing. Again, if you have a photograph to share, by all means, send it to me at Mike Schultz at KTBF11.com. Well, here's what's going on at the airport right now. 48 degrees after a high of 55. The cool air moving back in. A low of 43 last night. Record high 76, 1910. 24 degrees in 1927 in your sunrise and sunset. 13 hours, 22 minutes of daylight. A loss of 6.5 minutes from yesterday. And just satellite and radar once again. You can see all that area of low pressure moving off to the east. It's just taking its time moving out and still spinning around, giving us that area of rain and even some wind coming in the backside and pulling in some cold air back in from the northwest too. That's why it's cooling down like it is right now. Elsewhere across the state, not too bad over southeast Alaska, 70 degrees at Ketchikan. Rain falling around Ketchikan, or I should say Cold Bay. Also cloudy skies across the Gulf of Alaska. 40 degrees at Barrow, that's not too bad. Fort Yukon raining and 54, and elsewhere temperatures in the 40s up and down the west coast. Well, back to Alaska, back to lower 48 right now. As you can see, we're looking at temperatures again, very hot over Seattle, 93 degrees there, lots of sunshine. Elsewhere, 85 at Salt Lake City. Again, a hot day in Dallas, Fort Worth. Thunderstorms over the northeast and the southeast, as for the last couple of days it has been. Here's an area of low pressure. You can just see about circulation here. Again, lots of rain and hail, thunderstorms all over the southwest. Albuquerque, New Mexico, flooding with the rains there. More thunderstorms over the Florida Peninsula. Tomorrow, it looks like if you're heading in the Pacific Northwest, record challenging heat possible over Oregon and Washington, and hot, dry winds. Maybe more fires breaking out there, unfortunately. Well, back to Alaska for tomorrow. Here's what it looks like in the northern sections. A little rain at Barrow and Nome. Cloudy skies expected in Fort Yukon. Excuse me. Over the interior, I should say, looking at continued cloudy skies early, becoming partly cloudy in the Healy and Fairbanks areas. Over southeast Alaska, cloudy skies at Juneau, but partly cloudy in Ketchikan. While out to the southwest, a mixed bag of weather once again. Scattered areas of rain at Cold Bay, Bethel, and Kodiak. Lots of showers there. And over the south central regions, we're looking at mainly cloudy skies for Homer, Anchorage, and Valdez. So all in all, not too bad there. Once again, time for our kids' weather all this week, talking with the kids from Crawford Elementary School. Here's a young man tonight with a question for me.
My name is William Richardson, and I'm in Miss Lewis's 6th grade class at Crawford Elementary. Here's my question for the weatherman. How do they change the satellite pictures into what you see on TV?
A technical question. Well, thanks to the folks at AccuWeather, I'm able to take those satellite pictures, put them in electronically, and then also colorize them to show you where the different satellite shows the cloud tops and also the precipitation that's falling from. So good question there. And again, tomorrow night we'll be looking with a question, or actually a weather fact from the teacher. It'll be pretty interesting too. You'll be looking forward to seeing that. All right, here's your forecast for the remainder of the night. Periods of rain early, then slowly ending. 43 degrees by morning. Tomorrow's forecast 62 degrees, but morning fog, then skies becoming partly cloudy. And look at the temperatures cooling down on the 5-day period. 56 degrees on Saturday, 57 on Sunday, and even cooler on Monday and Tuesday, 50 degrees. But overnight lows still hanging around that 40-degree mark each night. No 30s expected right now, but boy, it looks like we are definitely transitioning. And man, the colors on the trees are getting gorgeous out there.
They
really
are
beautiful.
very beautiful.
Yeah.
That was a great
Full
photograph
blown,
tonight, too.
That was a great picture.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it.
But it was terribly muddy out there today. Muddy
Yes,
everywhere.
it was
And it's not going to be any better tomorrow, Daryl, because of all this rain we've had tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, thanks, Mike. That'll wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. As always, we are glad you could join us.
Tonight on NBC Nightly News, Colorado lawmakers losing recall elections after voting to enact new gun laws. That's coming up next with Brian Williams.
You can join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webcenter11.com.
And that will do it from all of us here at the News Center. We're going to leave you tonight with more of those wonderful ceremonies that you had today for 9/11. Have a good night. We'll see you back here again at 11.